on me?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, this is a moment because second go around, I got you on camera.
I know. That's great, huh?
Oh my God, this is beautiful. This is wonderful. This is how I knew it was gonna be a good day. I said that the bus came on time.
Good,
Got
good.
off work, and I got Miss Keys on camera.
Yes,
This is gonna be a good day, good day, good day. So, how have you been, Miss Lady?
I am good. I've been off work for, let's see, September, October, November, December, January, for 6 months because I had an injury and messed up my knee. And finally, I'm back. But it was a very, very long 6 months.
Yes, I saw the picture of the brace. I was like, "Damn, what the hell did she do?"
I know. Okay, so it was actually pretty interesting. I call it a work casualty. I was
Mm,
shooting a wrestling video, so it
okay.
was girl, just naked wrestling, and I've done it. I mean, maybe 3 or 4 times prior to that. So it's
Hmm.
basically 20 minutes, and you just whoever taps out, whoever wins. Really fun. Love doing it. But I was trying to put someone in a scissor hold. Okay. So
Oh.
imagine I'm trying to do the scissor holds and I hear this noise and it goes, and I went, that doesn't sound very good. Nothing
Mm,
really hurt immediately. I thought maybe I strained a ligament or something. Like, I don't know, maybe it just, I was fine. So it was like 10 minutes in, and I went, that's fine. Let's just finish up. We're good. Finished it and went home that night, put some ice on it. I was walking around. It was fine. It was not until about 4 weeks that I went, still doesn't feel the same. And it's really starting to piss me off. So I went and got an MRI and then saw a surgeon, and they were like, do you even know what you did? I said, well, clearly not. I'm not a doctor. That's why I'm here. And I had um, tore my ACL and then ruptured my meniscus. So I had to have the ACL repaired, and then the meniscus, they grafted one, like a brand new one in. So that's why the brace part, because I couldn't put any weight on it. I couldn't move it or bend it. So I had to be in that thing 24 hours a day. Okay, 23 hours a day. And for 6 weeks. And then after the 6 weeks, I had to learn how to regain my strength, had to do PT, had to do all of this stuff. So it was a long time of me being off work, and I'm happy to be back. I'm still going through they said it's about a year before you kind of actually feel
yeah,
uh
back in.
I still feel it. But they said it's about a good year before you kind of don't really feel it and you can kind of get back to all your normal stuff. So here I am.
And they say porn stars ain't athletes.
Oh my, let me tell you that, right? I was
It's an
like,
athletic injury.
and that was the big thing of, could I have maybe come back and done some shoots? Well, maybe, but my thing was, I mean, we have to get in certain positions.
Mm,
There's photos, there's things, and there's certain things that I just can't do comfortably. And you don't realize that until you can't do something and you go, wow, I really did I have to move this way and I have to bend my knee this way. And you don't realize that how much, yeah, like how many different positions and ways that we kind of adjust and move our bodies.
and you have a meniscus and an ACL,
Yeah, both. Yeah. So
and
I
she's
was,
a porn star.
it was just holding on. I didn't know.
Damn.
I was
See,
like,
people.
But yeah, the funny part is the way that I injured it. It's kind of like, you know, naked girl wrestling. It's a good story. A story that I can't tell
Look,
everyone.
I'm going to tell you this, right?
What?
There's no bullshit. This happened on the porn set. I've heard of a story of a man dick being broke.
Oh, I always wonder about that. Really?
Yeah,
So you actually heard that it's happened?
I've heard that it's happened.
No, thank you. I'm glad
Yeah.
I was the one that did that.
So yes, we do get hurt. We catch cramps,
Yeah,
injuries.
it happens. Like it really does happen. And I'm telling you what, when you realize the different positions and things you get in, you realize how important a chiropractor is too. Right?
And it's wonder why you see all these porn stars now going to the gym.
Yes.
Damn right, you better.
Yes.
It's the
There's
athletic sport.
yeah. And you know, it's you know, again, you don't think about that like in you know, personal sex life. Okay, this and that. But then when you go, oh, I have to open up this way to the camera, I have to hold this position, or I have to, then it's a different kind of mindset of being on a set and what you have to do.
Yeah. So, hello, smokers. Welcome to the Smokers Lounge. Don't you like
Yes,
to
thank you.
start off hot? You know who I am. I'm Kevin of Southern Chef, aka the porn rap star. So, go to one place to find all my links, allmylinks.com/porn rap star. Let me
Do
give
it.
the four wonderful sponsors that we have. I'm gonna do it quickly because I don't feel like going
Do
through all day. The first will be lasworld.com. Next up, RodSizzleMagazine.com. After that is xsitebunny.com. And last but not least, and the newest one, I got to say award-winning, award-nominated, BlushErotica.com.
Oh, I love Blush Erotica. Goodness
Yeah.
gracious, with them. I love them.
So they're our newest sponsor. Also, we are a proud member of the GW District Black Podcasting Network. So go over to shopgwdistrict.com and buy products from over 500 black owned retailers, boutiques, and shops. Also, in the mornings, 5 days a week over at fullyswapradio.com, you can listen to me bring that good smoke with porn's finest and starting, some people that might not be in porn. But anyway,
Right.
you can, tell them what it is. You just got to go to Fully Swap Radio to check it out. And also, you can catch me on, damn it.
It's weird.
Sky, it happens, people. SkyHawkAfterDarkTV.com as well, the BGPLLC app. Now, as you can see, this beautiful smile, this lady looking all gorgeous and sexy with the t-shirt saying pervert.
All right.
And she's been on the shelf for 6 months. And she was on fire before she was on the shelf. So so it's none of her. And it's been a minute since we last talked to her too. On top of that, it's been almost maybe around a year. Miss Kyla.
Has it been that long?
Been almost a year, I think.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Okay.
Kyla Keys, ladies. Say hello to the smokers.
Kyla. It's Kyla.
I'm sorry. Kyla Keys.
Does that?
Say hello to the smokers.
Glad to be here.
Yes, I'm sorry for butchering your name. I'm high and it's been a long day.
It's fine.
So, oh my goodness. So you're now getting back on the horse after all of this. So
yeah.
So the smokers can understand prior to this, how was the business for you prior to that? Prior to that.
I started out not really knowing where porn would take me. I started in the lifestyle swinging community, and then somehow this opportunity for shooting appeared, and I just thought, well, maybe I'll just check it out. shoot a scene or two. I didn't know anything. And then after that first shoot, I went, oh, this is great. And I started then, and it takes a long time, and I'm still always learning the business. It's definitely something where you don't just show up and all of a sudden you're well versed in everything. It's like you're always learning, always learning and growing. And I had about a year and a half in before I was injured. Hey, today's my this is the 16th, right?
Yeah.
It's my porniversary.
Happy porniversary.
Yeah, my
Porniversary.
gosh. So okay, so I am I just can't believe that. So I am 2 years in, but I kind of technically say a year and a half because
Yeah.
but things were going really well before I had my leave. I really have been enjoying what I'm doing.
Yeah. So now, being that you was on the shelf, that means you wasn't able to shoot.
Yeah, that was hard.
So it's kind of like this. What helps is when you film a lot prior to something, because this is when we have the conversation about the key, content is key, and also is you do need to film as much as possible, not to the point that you're going to overwhelm yourself. But she's the perfect example of this, because you got to be able to still be there when you're not there.
Yes, and that was it. It's things can happen and your whole life changes, and then you realize, oh, because I was shooting a lot of my own content and I thought I'm going to be set for a while. You just, okay, I'm just building up, and then all of a sudden something happens and you go, oh no, this is, now I have to change what the course that I really thought that I was on. And that's why they always tell you, like, don't put your eggs, what is it? Don't put your eggs in one basket. Is that how they say it?
Yeah.
That's it. Yes. Which is very, very true in this industry. And I'm learning that more and more too.
Because see, the thing of it is that like with your situation, I know where I want to go with this, so I'm going to start here. Because the content that you shot prior to kind of helped you carry on to a certain extent,
Yeah,
or
to an
continue to
extent.
make it money, even though you was down. You feel what I'm saying? Because you were still able to update during this time, right?
I was. I didn't update because I have my own OnlyFans page. And there was a point for honestly about 4 months where I was able to put out like my full length personal videos once a week, because I was like, okay, I had that set up. But it was also where it was really hard to do any other types of updates because I was in an environment that wasn't, my normal home environment, and everything changes. And then all of a sudden, you don't have the same movements or this or that. But I was really happy that a lot of my fans did stay with me, and I was able to at least still give them like the full length sex videos. So it was good that I had that built up.
But that's the beauty of it, because within them 6 months, you still had new videos that was dropping, even though you weren't filming at all. You feel me? Because that's the reasoning why I tell females, when you have the opportunity to get content, you get it.
Exactly.
Because
And that's
situations like this, because you got to have a way to continue getting that bag too.
Yep. And it's a prime example. And again, I had thought, well, I've got all these videos stockpiled for a bid. It's great. And then, something changes, and all of a sudden, like now coming back into working in the industry, I'm now going, okay, I've got to build up that content again. And that takes coordinating and time and all of that. So now that's where I'm also starting to focus, is building up, my own personal content, as well as, trying to shoot with production companies too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. You got to get back to the wing of that, because I'm pretty sure they can't wait to hear that you. She's back off the. She's off the bench, ladies and gentlemen. She's back in the game.
Yeah. And that's what I'm still self-booking. So I kind of now am starting like not fresh, but almost okay, you're off the shelf for a little bit and now you're back and you have to let others know that, hey, I'm back to work now.
Now I'm gonna ask you this. Of course, you missed the work stoppages that probably happened because I know you heard about them, what have you, and all things going with TTS and all the crazy shit.
Yeah.
They've been going in the industry like that, what have you. A lot of ladies, of course, been speaking upon talking about doing more fetish, less boy girl stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? And have you thought about working more on your fetish side of the fence? Because just like you said, you can't put your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
There's other ways of making money within this trade that may not be as physical, what have you. That you know what I'm saying? That
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up because the fetish world, I was always, I'm kink and fetish friendly, would do things here and there, opportunities, but you do make a good point, and production can come to an end. Things happen. Maybe a lot of us change our mind and maybe we don't want to do certain types of content. In that fetish and kink world, there's a big demand for it. I mean, if you go on Clips for Sale and you look at the different fetish categories, things that I had no idea was a thing. Like, this is insane. So I actually have been putting a lot more time and thoughts, I guess, behind where do I want to take my fetish shoots. And there's a lot of other performers out there that love to shoot fetish that, again, they may not be tested or they don't shoot.
So what's some of the fetishes that you would like to dibble dabble in? Because you already were doing wrestling, so that was one. That's the reason why you was on injured reserve.
Any what?
That's why you was on injured reserve.
I know. And I love the wrestling thing. It was I can't say that I can say I don't think I'll ever be doing wrestling, but stage things. There's like stage cat fighting, which I have a thing coming up. Like that's cool.
Have you seen the documentary called Killer Sally?
No, should I write these down?
I think it's Killer Sally or Killer. Yeah, it's. I mean,
it
ended to the doc series, but the real point is, see what you were talking about with the wrestling. She was doing that fetish when it was VHS. So that would caught my attention of that series. I didn't get to finish it. I just watched the first 2 episodes where they talked about the fetish shit. So it's like fetish has always been a moneymaker. It's just knowing which fetish works.
Yes. Yes.
And which you could get over.
Yes. No, that's a good way to put it. And you know what? Your fans want to see you do too. And that's always sometimes it's a big trial and error. Because for me, I like to do a whole bunch of different things. Like if it interests me, perfect. So when the opportunity presents itself, great. And then you kind of realize you have fans that do like fetish and kink that may not have found you before or followed you or been with you because they didn't think that you did that, or didn't really know that that was part of your genre of performing.
Yeah, because it's gonna be interesting when have you already done a shoot since your leg healed?
No, so I've done not production company shoot. I have gotten back into doing my own content shoots. So that's what I've done since I've gotten back in, because it wasn't until March.
She's doing porn training, ladies and gentlemen. She's doing porn training.
Well,
like an athlete, they got to train to get. First they got to do the rehabilitation shit, right? Then now they got to get back on court and get back, do a little jump shot here. That's what she would do.
Exactly. Well, I was like, okay, I got to get back into it slowly but surely and make sure. Can I do that? Can I do that? Okay, we're good. So, Yeah, I've been doing just my own content right now, and I'm open to working with production companies. It just hasn't came about yet. But I have since the beginning of March is when I kind of came back in, and that's when I started to do my own collabs and stuff to get me
Yeah, because
my own content.
you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, because even with your solo content, depending on what position you want to do with the of how you want to show. In other words, ladies got to lift their legs to show the coochies a lot of times when the dinner going in there. So that does take, you know. I'm just saying, you know, it's kind of like you're training yourself to when you finally get on set, you won't get in your head.
Yeah,
But,
that's
but
good. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to
because
put it.
the reason why I say that, because even as an athlete, some athletes can get in their head because they just came off an injury, especially depending upon the seriousness of the injury.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I would think it's kind of the same with porn because, like I said, we have to be athletic as fuck when it comes to shooting these scenes.
Yeah.
No,
I,
period.
I don't
Men as well as the women. Damn,
I don't think a lot of
man,
people realize that.
yeah. So shoot. So it's kind of like, but I know that you're ready to get to it.
It was hard to be out out of the porn worlds because I got into it. I loved it. I was making my connections, kind of getting into the swing of
Mm,
things, and then you put a hold on that, and even the connections that I make with other performers and sex workers, all of a sudden that kind of changes too because
mm.
porn's still going on and people are still working. I'm just going, I'll be there soon. I'll be
See,
back.
but I think also the work that you did helped you stay in the public eye.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was hoping.
Because yeah, because it was to the point that Blush Erotica, has some of them images out there for people to see and everything,
Yeah.
which is a nice segue to tell me about that Blush Erotica shoot.
Oh my gosh, I love working with them. So, um, I've worked with them. I think maybe one, two, three times so far in the last couple of years.
Hmm.
Yeah, three times. And they've all been great shoots. I mean, and
Hmm.
nothing bad to say about them. So yeah, it's really and it's cool the storylines that they um put with what you're doing. It's really they're awesome.
Yeah, because yeah, that voiceover is kind of cool though. I like that and everything.
Yeah.
So it's like now, I know you're gonna probably try to go to some of the conventions when the time comes, what have you, and everything. What's some of the things that once you get back to the swing of things,
Hmm.
um, what's some of the things you want to do to kind of shape your brand? Because like you said, you've been in the business for a year and some change. You started off hot, so you started to shape what exactly Miss Keys is going to be known for,
Yes.
niches or what have you. So what's some of the things that is in your mind to how where you want your brand to go, even to the point of what other areas of the business that you wanted to go as well?
Oh, I would say we kind of touched on it, but the different areas that I think is good for me to focus on because I really haven't since I started is the fetish and the kink community. A lot more of like the BDSM types, a lot more of
Mm,
um like the kink types, which I was always open to, but now I went, huh? Because I've had some shoots where they've been along the BDSM lines and they've done really well. And that's something that I really feel like in the next year or so, I want to be able to branch into to show my fans that there's this part of me and this side of me that's more than just the uh, sex content, so to speak. Giving them an idea of more of who I am and what I enjoy. That doesn't necessarily have to be a boy girl or a girl boy scene or stuff that they've already kind of seen me do.
yeah, because the hardest part is to create variety because
And that's just it. That's perfectly said. Yes. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So shoot. So I'm trying to remember. Did you have done a gangbang or?
Yes, I've done not one for a production company, but yeah, for my own stuff, absolutely. Love gangbangs, love orgies, done those. Um, Group stuff is fun. It's great. It's just very cuddle puddles at the end, and everyone's happy and just kind of it's very liberating and freeing.
Oh hell yeah, shit. Because but see, also you coming from that world actually probably helped you with your
It did.
point. Good.
Oh my gosh, it did. Like coming
Because
from the lifestyle swinger community, completely helped me because I wasn't coming into to porn with going, I've never had that experience. And then all of a sudden you have to try it and you're on camera. You don't know if you're going to like it. You don't know if you're, how nervous you're going to be. For me, it was really a neat progression because I was already familiar with, and I don't want to say experience, but very familiar with that area. Then all of a sudden it became, oh, well, now I just get filmed by, it's not just on a cell phone. Like there's no, like,
it's, I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna ask you this.
yeah.
Do you think people don't allow themselves what is called a grace for discovery? Because it's kind of like you have some people. Well, I mean, more people trying to break into business anyway. But okay, let's take it out of porn for a second.
Okay.
You have people that are scared to try swinging.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
Yep.
whatever. They curious as fuck, but they scared to try it. You know, period. And feel some type of way towards swingers type shit. You know where I come from? It's kind of like a crazy dynamic. I mean, I know I'm going a little absurd,
No, but
but
it's
I
very
mean,
true. Very
you know what I'm
true.
saying? Because sometimes you don't know what you like unless you try it. It's the same thing with the porn. It's the same thing with anything. You know, why don't people allow themselves that grace of discovery?
Um, I think a lot of it is we feel, I guess, as a generalization as a society, we're kind of taught, I, I'll say the word taught, that that's not right and that's a wrong thing to do. And that those who are in that community or those who are sex workers or whatnot, it's frowned upon because it's not really accepted, I guess. And getting into the swing community too, I think there is a fear of what if I don't like it? How are people going to respond to me? Do I feel like I have to do this or I don't have to do this? And that's why I think it's nice if you can find other people in the community or other sex workers who can help you with that experience and communicate with you and know that it is a safe space. But I definitely think the biggest thing is just a lack of um, exposure in the world of it being frowned upon as something that's really negative and that you shouldn't allow yourself to do, because it's very typical that we're taught you can only be monogamous and that's it, and if you're not, like that's
Mhm.
right, like that's not good, you don't talk about it, you don't do this, like it's frowned upon. I think a lot of it is getting over that fear that people are going to look at you and judge you a certain way.
Yeah, because it was just I did a episode, and then it's another place I wanted to go with this conversation.
Yes.
Um, where I discussed dating a porn star, and
Uh-huh.
and the conversation is that I always say this: before you date somebody, you got to realize what it takes to date you. That's just my theory.
Yeah.
So, and I think a lot of times when
Mhm.
guys date a porn star,
Yeah.
this also ties into these testing that's going bad, what have you, all this shit.
Yeah.
I don't really think people take into account all you have to deal with if you date a porn star.
Oh yeah.
And
I will tell you
it's
my
more
whole
than just
dating
the
life
fact they fucking
changed.
somebody else.
It what? Say that again?
And it's more than it's just they fucking somebody else other than
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. And that's something that I realized too, because I've met a lot of people in, for example, that lifestyle community that were couples, that were married, that had families. And I was able to see that, oh, there is dynamics that can work, that this couple is a strong couple. They're madly in love. There's just a different, unique way that they have their sex life. But
Mm.
dating in the porn industry, it's hard. It's very hard because you never know how someone's going to react, what they're going to think of you. If it's going to be, they just think it's awesome. Like, ooh, she's in porn. Cool. Or I find a lot of them are like, oh yeah, that's great. And then when it really gets down to it and you're like, okay, I got to go to work today. They're like, uh, yeah, there's
It's
a,
today,
yeah, like,
Saturday.
and meeting, porn, or, sex workers in the industry, and they are in relationships and it works for them. And all of a sudden you realize, like, this is a job, and it doesn't have to be taking everything home with you. Like, you can have a primary partner and be in a very successful relationship, and it can work. It's just not as easy to find that because
Bingo.
you're limiting yourself now to somebody who's going to accept you in that industry, accept you in that job.
And that's the key, because but not only that, it's not even, let's talk about within the relationship. You in the relationship. Let's
Well,
not
yeah.
talk about, no, what I'm saying is you're in the relationship. Let's go from that perspective.
Oh, if you're
We're
in it.
about to have a real good one. You know,
Oh,
period. I A lot of times the wife called it because of the husband.
uh-huh.
Just when you
Uh-huh.
community, where have you, you know what I'm saying, this, that, and third. It's about your husband, your mate, woman or man, transgender, what have to respect the business that you're in.
Yeah. Respect it and accept it. Exactly.
Yeah, because see, the other kicker that people don't want to talk about, and I don't know, because I don't know if everyone would talk about it. Not only do you got to curve and change your personal sex life, so does your mate.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's not just, our personal relationship, but yeah, the individual that you're dating or coming into it, that's a good point. Their whole life, their whole, world significantly changes as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the most. It's like, put it this way, because one, the money is made off of us being clean.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because if because you can testify to this, not saying you ever caught anything. I ain't saying that, but
Yeah.
hypothetically speaking,
Okay.
not wishing shit. No, went off just off the strip. No, no, no. Fuck all that. You went through it. Your leg. How
Yeah.
much money she could have made in 6 months?
Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay.
You
Yep.
get where I'm coming from? It's just like her money depending on if it's healthy. It's also depending on if she also can pass that test. Because at the end of the day, if you're one that get paid gigs, you get it regularly, you're missing out on that. You might have an important content trade shoot that's going on. You're missing out on that, period. So it's like, even with you, like, I don't know your status, marital, what have you, single. I'm not asking all that. We don't need to know all that. But how much have you been in this business after a year, you had to rethink how you move in the real world on that end?
Oh, all the time. That's a huge thing. It's too educating if you do find someone you want to date or even just going on a date. It's also educating them on, hey, we have strict protocols. Like, I'm tested more often now than I was prior to porn. Like, absolutely. And it's also educating them on, yeah, if something does happen, well, now you know if you're tested, for example, every 2 weeks or within a 2-week period, you can go back and say, well, this is who I was with. Whereas if you're out there, not in the porn industry, sometimes you're not able to trace back or to be able to say, well, this is when I got it and this is who I need to contact and let know. So I definitely, I didn't realize it was like that. I don't think a lot of people who aren't in porn realize that either. There's just kind of this that everyone's going around fucking each other, nobody's being safe. And that's definitely a point of, if I try to date a porn star, like,
is he or she going to be responsible?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's amazing when I tell people that, because they always, it's a common question of, well, what happens with like testing and if you get something? And then when I tell them, well, as an industry standard, this is what we should be abiding by, they're like floored. They don't realize, they didn't realize, as I didn't either, it's an education of, you have this window and everyone should try to abide by it. I mean, obviously, we do what we do, but I've never been tested more often than I have in the industry than being out of it. I mean, yeah, like I wasn't getting tested every 2 weeks. So that's it. It's a big thing.
Yes, because I don't know how much you've been keeping up with the industry, with the controversy of the testing going on amongst the shit from tests being late, work stoppages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And also the popping up of alternatives to TTS.
Oh yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So what are you thinking? What do you think of porn when it comes to the testing climate? Has it changed how you would be tested? Where you be tested or any of that?
For me, because now, from what I've, paid attention to, and, the big thing was the additional swabbing. So that for me, like, I'm always going to include that now, because now I have a better understanding of the importance of it. And again, everyone makes their own decisions, but for me, adding that layer on just helps protect me and others. And then I think too, having more options of testing facilities and places, that's a big thing too. Because if you only have one or two, you know.
I mean, we see what happened when you only go to one. Because let's see here. One thing I was hearing about with AVN, some of the motherfuckers didn't get their test back in time.
Oh, okay. That's
what I'm saying. So it's kind of like, which it made sense because they overloaded it because everybody decided they wanted to get tested when they got to Vegas.
Yeah, especially
so
during the
system. But see, also you have the restrictions like people put on them, like, well, I need that test within 3 days. I need within 2 weeks. Well, I can understand 2 weeks. I can understand a week. 3 days. Shit, wait, does it change what you accept as far as within time of shoot test results? That's the best way I can put it.
Like
in
what
time of shoot test results, meaning, I mean, he got 14 days, he got 3 days, or you gonna come from since everything had been going on.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I mean, for me, I still go by what I did before, as far as the 14 days, that's protocol. For me, it's more of adding that layer on to the additional swabs, which that's changed for me. So I still abide by that, 2 weeks time period, but just personally, it's now an additional.
We about to keep it real. When you think about the swabs, what was your first thought?
What was my first what?
What was your first thought when you heard about the swabs?
I went, okay, if it's going to prevent, then I was actually very okay with it. I thought it was great.
It's like, damn, has it gotten like that in the game?
Yeah. And it's
gotten like that in the game.
It would have been nice if it was like that before, but.
I mean, okay, then I'm going to ask you this then. was it because you said it should have been like that before?
Well, I don't
Uh,
want to say should have been, but it would have been nice if it was like that before. Yeah.
but my thing is, this is what I don't get, right? And it's just me just being silly.
Sure.
I'm like, y'all had technology, the same information about all this shit, and y'all just decided to swap.
Yeah. 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 And you wonder how those decisions get made and this and that. And hopefully it'll, help prevent some things. And
Yeah,
it was,
because
yeah, it was,
I mean, because it's just crazy how, like, yeah, we got new tested shit popping up like that. Them only fan wannabes.
oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
And I think that's
That
where it's important for every individual to accept and be okay with and set like who they want to work with. Because ultimately it's our own, our own decisions of who we want to create content with. But yeah, having OnlyFans and all these other platforms definitely changes a lot. It changes a lot of things. Yeah.
yeah. So shoot. So now the other thing I wanted to because you meant it, without contention, but it's you are self booked
Yes.
and you always have the conversation that when ladies come into business, they try to look for an agent or
Yeah.
what have period. Now, granted, you might find one in the future. I don't know, what have you. But the
Yeah.
point is, to you, which you think is better or you feel is better. I mean, to be agent or to be self booked.
Oh, that's a hard one. I think it's up to the individual on what types of shoots they want to do, or if you're trying to do for the larger companies, it is tougher. I could be. I mean, I don't know because I haven't had an agent yet. Tougher to be able to network and make those contents or make those contacts. So that's where I think potentially having an agent, they're more in with those larger companies, and maybe you'd have more opportunities there, or just a different avenue to be able to work with those companies.
So like this,
I've
for
heard,
you to
I've heard,
deal with an agent, what would okay then put it this way. Let's say I was agent.
sure.
What would be the perfect deal for you? Situation uh for you to have an agent, because the biggest thing when you actually join an agency, you're giving up control and you're signing a contract.
Yeah.
So that means now they have say so on what the fuck you necessarily do. So
Yeah.
what would be the picture perfect deal for you to sit here and say, yeah, I sign with the agency. I sign with that agency.
For me, I would be able to do both my self booking and having an agent representation. For me, that would be ideal because I'm not necessarily brand new. So I have some established relationships. So I wouldn't want to give those up because those are ones that I've already made and fostered. So ideally, if I could still maintain and, work independently and also have representation, that would be, in my world, that would be ideal.
Yeah, because but the thing is, sometimes females. Do you think females sometimes jump to get with an agent because they? I ain't gonna sit there and say think because hell, it is what it is. They heard that's the thing to do versus judging the climax if that is the best thing for me to do.
Right. No, that is true. Because I think, I mean, there's so many of us in the porn world that I think it can be overwhelming or for somebody new to know even where to get started. And I think that's where, somebody new coming into the industry might maybe, okay, say an agent is the way that I want to go because I don't know how to navigate in this world. And potentially, that could help them.
But see, with you though, you have gained some major shoots. You've had a pretty strong first year. And
Yeah.
self-booked. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it seemed like to me that, how can I put this? At this point in time, it's like you're moving as if you have an agent. You just don't have an agent. You're the agent. You get what I'm saying, bro?
I know.
And so,
That's a good
so
one.
like put it this way: what can ladies do to where they don't need an agent?
Um, I can only speak for myself, but I do feel if you, oops, hang on, gotta charge my phone. If you go on to each set with your best and you try not to ruffle feathers, don't be a dramatic person. And if you can walk away from a set and say, hey, I gave it my all, and hopefully then, yeah, maybe they want to shoot with me again. It's representing yourself, on a performance of how would you want them to think of you. If they're going to think of you as, oh, she was super difficult to work with, it was a terrible experience, well, you kind of burn that bridge. And I think it's being true to yourself and knowing, yeah, this is a job. So you, if you make it difficult for others, then you might get known as the person that's difficult to work with. And that's not a good place to be in.
Mm-mm. That's the equivalent of a man in porn being called thirsty.
Yeah.
You get network.
I mean, you need to be sure, everyone's following boundaries and this and that, but to me, you can't expect, if you're starting to get known as somebody who's difficult to work with, that you're going to get all these opportunities. Because if there's somebody else that isn't deemed as difficult and that, has positive experiences on set, like, who are they going to want to deal with and work with?
So now with you, the paid bookings, the company bookings that you did, how did you get those bookings? Did you get them because you reached out or they reached out to you?
It was actually both. So I would go through, and I mean, I have my whole spreadsheet, and these are contacts. These ones are in LA, these ones are in Vegas. So it was a lot of me going through and trying to do that. And then there's also, if you become known as, hey, well, I saw her and she was performing with so and so, and some of them would reach out to me then because they saw my performance, or they knew I fit a certain role that they were looking for, whether it be a MILF or someone petite or an age range or the way you look. And also, I've been fortunate enough to meet a lot of good people in the industry that might also say, hey, so and so is looking for someone just like you. Can I provide them with your info? So a lot of us do look out for each other. It's not always a super competitive. A lot of times, like, yeah, we want to help each other out in the industry because that only helps you. So a lot of both.
Now, it was something that was probably a previous interview that I did, and he was basically discussing rejection if they
Uh-huh.
say no,
Uh-huh.
period. And he discussed probably technically how he handled it was that, he always hit him up later on or what have you. Then eventually they end up working together or what have you, because I guess they're waiting for him to get hot, what have you. Nonetheless, so have you ran into rejection in this business? And does reject the way that you are rejected and the way that you react, does that make a huge difference on whether you move forward in this business, be successful in this business, or what have you?
Oh
And to
yeah.
the ladies, no, well, uh, I asked the second part of the question. Are you about to say what you about to say? Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I I don't look at it as rejection. For
Mm-hmm.
me, I look at it more as, okay, I'm just not fitting what they're looking for. And I think having that mentality and not taking it personally, that's also a big thing. Because there's going to be lots of jobs that you're not going to get hired for. And if you took them all personally, I mean, you're just setting yourself up for feeling bad about yourself. It's not always a personal thing. I mean, there's so many of us that you may not fit what they're looking for, even though they might want to hire you. You know, it's not just somebody who's doing the camera work or directing. I mean, there's all these other people behind, you know, that want to make sure that they're hiring or whatnot, who is fitting what type of role that they want. So a big thing for me was, it's like, I'm not taking it personally. If I never hear back from them and I reach out, that's fine. If they're like, yeah, we're not looking for you, you know, you right now. Okay. And if you just let that be, and sure, maybe you might reach out to them in 6 months from now, but definitely don't take it personally. Unless they told you to take it personally. You know, but otherwise, yeah, you just have to.
Hey, trust me, I heard a lot of shit. I heard shit about, but if you just lost 100 pounds, you
Yeah,
would make money, or if you had some bigger boobs.
yeah. And that is a thing. But I think it shouldn't be of, you know, somebody telling something what they, okay, you need bigger boobs or your ass is too big. It would be a nicer way to say, we're not looking for someone uh that looks like you. We're looking for something a little different.
And see, too, ladies got to remember, just because they in the porn business don't mean to respect the people that's in it.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Yeah.
You know, period. Because it's like a lot of times these producers and directors look at y'all as cattle, interchangeable. Even though women make the most money in this business, bar none, they also
I
catch the most flack for.
I would not want to be a guy in porn. I say that all the time. Like, no, thank you. That's one place where I don't envy being a dude. No, thank you. No, thank
We the most underappreciated.
you.
Fact.
No, thanks.
We get
It's
paid the last. Straight up. I haven't heard it. It's been a long time. I heard any dude say 1,000 or better. And sometimes I be thinking the motherfucker be lying when they say they do get 1,000. I'm like, for real, dude.
um
You
somebody
getting
told me,
500 at best, motherfucker. It's 1,000 because shot twice in the same day. That's why.
yeah,
You
it was
didn't get first shoot, nigga.
it was a guy who was telling me, you know, he always gets two. There's a lot of people that, how do I get in porn? Can you get me in porn? And it's like, well, no. But this guy was telling me, he said, yeah, somebody once asked me, hey, how do I get in porn? And he said, oh, stand in a room with 5 people, drop your pants, make sure you're hard, perform, and then when they tell you need to come, all while on camera. And he just said, the guy was like, oh, but
I
that's
like Jenna Jameson's favorite. I like Jenna Jameson's one. She said, New York. Dude walked up and said, "Yeah, I could do all that shit that Peter North does. Ain't shit. I can do it better." She was like, "For real? Okay, come here." She looked at. She said, "Whip your dick out and jerk it. Get it hard right now." And then in the middle of Times Square, he walked off.
but that is true. I mean, that's the truth behind it. That's if that doesn't happen, I mean, there's other people that can do that, and those are the ones that get hired. So I do think it's
No,
not just
some of the motherfuckers have a backup just in case that one can't even get it hard.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I
Straight
think
up.
trying to get into it, it's not what everyone necessarily thinks. It's like it's a performance, and you have people who are depending on you to perform. And if you can't drop your pants, pull it out and get hard, like they're gonna want somebody else.
See, I normally say this question for the premium smoke room, but it'd be a good preview for the premium smoke room for y'all to subscribe for $4.99 a month. It's like this: do you orgasm during your scenes?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm very lucky that I do that. Yes.
She said, "Hold on, very lucky."
I am. Yes. I there isn't a lot of faking it for me because I just take myself out of, I'm not concerned about cameras rolling or this or that. Like I just have an experience as though if you're satisfied, to me, like it shows through on the camera. And that's the big thing is if I try not to think of it as a performance where I can't receive pleasure, then it just becomes okay, let's get this over with. But if it goes, okay, I'm going to receive pleasure because this is what I enjoy doing, suddenly that shows through and you walk away and you're like, yeah, this is great.
Well, wait a second. Here's the question though: was all your co-stars something that was someone that turned you on?
No, I mean, that will never be based on, I mean, hundreds of people or ever many people that you perform with. It would just be like going out into a dating pool and saying, okay, well, I'm not attracted to every single one of them. Yes, there has obviously been performers that I'm not necessarily attracted to, but a lot of it comes down to how they interact with you, if they respect you, if you have any sort of rapport with them. That to me makes a difference because it's also a thing where you have to think of this isn't dating, so hey, I'm going to perform with this person. Yeah, if we were walking out on the street, would I really be attracted to you? No, but are you a great enough person? Have I heard good things about you? Do we have a rapport? Are you respectful of me? Then it's like, okay, well, yep, this is the job I have to do today. But I also know it isn't something where, I am saying, okay, well, I want to date this person, or yeah, I want to go see this person, outside of performing. And if I keep that mentality, then it works for me.
See, we tell you the real shit. We don't sugarcoat nothing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I be saying it jokingly. She's already gonna give you the pussy. What's much more do you want, nigga? What more do you want? You said you do content trade, so you guaranteed to get the coochie without having to get her drinks, take her out to eat, get to know her like that,
Yeah.
and you don't even know. Half the time they don't know if she's married because y'all don't necessarily broadcast that, and it's not in y'all business to broadcast too tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like, see, she said a mouthful.
Yeah,
But I have a mouthful.
that's a good way of putting it. If you can respect that every time you go to shoot, you're not thinking about this is dating. Okay, it gives you a different way of looking at things because we are doing a job. So if you keep it at that, it just makes things a lot simpler too.
Oh yeah. So I done held this lady on here for an hour,
I get
and
that.
and she's gonna be back for sure because we got to bring her back for the
No more
premium.
injuries.
So no more injuries.
Yeah.
And she might even show off them pretty legs in the premium smoke room. That healed leg in the premium smoke room. That's right. Yes, I have a subscription side of the podcast. $4.99 a month. 5 premium podcasts for y'all to enjoy. That's extra content. And it's video. And you can only watch that video on Spotify. That's right, Spotify. Where the best smoke is always premium smoke. You don't know what happened. It's more unpredictable, more candid, more honest, more real. A titty might pop out. They might suck on a popsicle. You don't know unless you subscribe. And like I said, you can only watch it on Spotify, so it's not gonna be on no Patreon. It ain't gonna be on no YouTube. Spotify, and it's only for my premium smokers. $4.99 a month. Well, they need to put a button on the thing, but the subscription, the subscription, God dang it, web address, where have you, where to go is in the description. You feel what I'm saying? So and we gonna have her in the premium smoke room for sure.
Yay.
So with being said, Miss Keys, tell everybody where they can spend money on you, baby.
Best place to go if you go to allmylinks.com. and I am under Kyla Keys, KYLA KEYS, and you'll be able to see all the different places where you can find me, interact with me, and find my stuff too.
Most definitely. So y'all go spend that good money and pay attention because she will be back in full swing now that her leg is fully healed, and I can't wait to see what she has in store. And like I said, she'll be back here on the Premium Smoke Room, and she'll be back here on the Smokers Lounge. Okay,
Yay!
but back they always ask for y'all to come back. They always bug me. When
Good.
said you coming back?
Good. I'm happy to be back anytime. I'm glad.
No doubt, and I'm so happy to see that pretty face.
Oh, thank you.
And you see them tears have gotten perkier since I last seen them because I
You
can see
see?
them through the shirt.
Oh,
See,
it's all in the
smoke
angle. On the
I could actually
angle.
see them, but you got to be in the Premium Smoke Room. So with that being said, how
Mwah.
we end all day, every day. Life is a learning experience. What's the point of the experience? If you haven't learned anything, smoke this over. Say goodbye to the people, baby girl.
Bye. Thank you.
Hold on.